I'm Chris Erdmann, and this is Made of More, the show where we go beyond business to uncover real stories that shape entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, we explore the pivotal moments, the adversity faced, the risks taken, and the resilience found along the way. This isn't just about what people have built, it's about who they've become. If you're ready for inspiration, practical insights, and stories that remind you that you too are made of more, you're in the right place. All right, well, welcome to the show, Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and today I'm sitting with a guest that I really look up to, who happens to be a personal friend, but he's a killer in the business of multifamily syndications, and just a young man, has a couple partners that are also pretty young, and his name is Kevin Falk, who happens to be business partners with Jeff Duress, and now a new partner, Jacob Wilson. And these guys, they're here in the greater Seattle area. And more specifically, Kevin Falk was born and raised here in Seattle, born in Ballard, I believe. We'll get to that. And the reason why I have him on is back in 2021, they started their company called Nordic Partners. And they had $2,000 to their name to purchase a piece of property. And in 2022, they locked up that property that's in a syndication form and now and purchased it. A few years later, take us here till today in 2025. They personally own or are part of over 200 real estate doors and are managing a lot more. And I just got to say, wow, that we got Kevin here on the show today to share his journey, not just in real estate, but his personal life. And he's going to share some nuggets with us that's going to be worth your while in listening. So, Kevin, welcome to the show. Made of More here today. Thank you for joining me.
Chris, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And appreciate you still calling us young. I think I turned 38 next month, so it's starting to get up there. But
man, that's young to me, bro.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of gas in the tank and tread on the tires to continue to do what we're doing, and it's an honor and privilege to be here with someone as successful as yourself in the niche business that you've done, and to be across the table. It's been a dream to get here and to do it with really good people. It's been a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, man, because like you've really you treated this friendship with like a high level of respect, and in fact, like even invited me on to help raise capital for some of these for your company, for these properties, which is really amazing. So thank you for that.
Well, absolutely, you've been a great part of the company and the success and introducing us to great people. And I think, as we get to talking more, that's kind of the most important backbone of our business is we like to do good business with good people because life's too short.
Life is too short, isn't it?
100%.
Amen, man. Well, before we get into all the business stuff, I want to go back to your early years, and I have no idea where you're going to start.
Okay,
but take me back to your early years. Like, what was it like you for a kid?
Well, I grew up in the old Seattle before all the tech boom and just massive development and change in our city. So I grew up in Ballard. Two great parents, a brother and a sister, and you're able to ride around the streets and with your bike and hang out with friends and zip around to the community centers. It's gotten a little different, but it was
the youngest.
Yeah, I'm the youngest. So I got an older brother and an older sister, and my parents are still happily married. They've now both retired, and growing up, just had such a great nuclear family, and then people around me, and I think that that's really transitioned well into the business world as we've built a family ourselves with Jacob Wilson and Jeff Duress. They're brothers to me as well, as close as you can get. And it's nice to have that because we're in the trenches together in the business, working, grinding, building, but then we also care about each other outside of the business. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest parts of this is I've had such a good upbringing from such great parents.
What made it great? Tell me a little bit about your mom and dad. Like, what was that like?
They just instilled the hard work in us early. My dad was a commercial fisherman, and that's how our company name was called Nordic. I grew up in Ballard. That's an old Norwegian fishing town, and his whole lineage of his family is, commercial fishermen's up in the Bering Sea. And if anyone knows, it's a very dangerous and brutal job. And then he also cranked wrenches for years as a mechanic, and it was just showing the hard work, grind, and
dedication.
just determination and saving and the old school mentality. And then my mom was an entrepreneur. She started her own choir business not far from where we're filming this over in Mercer Island, and did success, did a really good job, had it going for 30 years, changed tons of girls' lives. And it's just been so great to see two people that, not from a financial standpoint, my parents did well, but it was a lot of hard work and sacrifice. But I think the biggest thing is just how they carried themselves as individuals. To see that type of character in your upbringing is really transitioned well. I mean, I'll admit I was a little bit of a knucklehead for a while until I got, my head on my shoulders. But now that I've been able to do that and get back to a place where I, live a pretty present and healthy and quality life, I have now been able to really release all of that good learning that I've gotten from my parents out into the world. I
love that. Thank you. We're going to get to that too.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to know, with your mom and dad, they both kind of, sounds like your dad, being a fisherman, that's kind of an entrepreneur. You have to go out there and you're bringing the fish back. And your mom with the choir business. Did you ever get to tag along?
Yeah, I mean, I've been out. I didn't go up to Alaska, but we've done fishing out in Puget Sound and out in the Pacific Ocean outside of Washington. I mean, it's just a whole different ball game. I mean, there's nothing easy or privileged about it. It is a tough grind work to make that money. I mean, that's one of those jobs where you really have to earn your keep, but then you do, work your way up and boat captain. And, I had family members that own boats and came out of the Ballard locks and, did that for years. But I think then my mom finally wanted to put the brakes on that because it's such a dangerous job. So then my dad transitioned to working with an oil company and a mechanic. And, he's just always been a burly, big Norwegian that's always been in for a tough grind type of atmosphere and work.
Wow, sounds like quite the upbringing and sounds pretty wonderful.
Oh, it's literally, I can't be more blessed. It's been 10 out of 10. If you could go back and say, hey, could I get anyone else's family? I'd take my family over a Bezos or a Musk, There's no monetary value of what you could put together on having such a great family that I've been able to be brought up with.
So it sounds like they taught you the value of hard work and just sticking through things. Because what other attributes do they have anything else that they've taught you that sticks with you these days? Yeah,
I think it's just the basics, just the fundamentals. Health, you can't have your wealth without your health. You need to move, you need to work out, you need to be healthy, you need to eat well, little to no substances, just that type of mentality. And then saving, they came from great, their family, Great Depression eras, World War II, all these times where, you had to save, a penny saved is a penny earned. Mm-hmm. And it's really helped us well, especially with the way we set up our business. And I think the same goes for my business partner, Jeff, and also Jacob. They're both very financially sound. Mm-hmm. And so we're very good on leaving runway and capital and, capital reserves. And it's the same way we look at our deals and underwrite and make sure that we're always having runway to do business versus trying to take profits and running lean. So I think, if I look back, there were so many pivotal times in the way I was brought up that's just transitioned well into business.
Nice. Well, sounds like childhood sounded pretty wonderful overall.
Yeah, it was great. Sports, football, baseball, basketball. Now a big golfer, but a lot of that also, being a leader, being part of a team, all that type of stuff has a really big impact on just how you build a team around us. Now, when we started the business, like you said, with $2,000, it was just two partners, and now we have a third, Jacob. But now we have 13 employees, and we have to be kind of quarterbacking the rest of the team and making sure that everyone is involved in part of this,
doing the right things.
Exactly, 100%.
Let's keep backing up a little bit more because you got one heck of a story before that $2,000. Before you guys started Nordic Partners. What was the path like? Between your childhood, it could be. Let's fast forward a little bit, but before we get to Nordic Partners, what did life look like?
Yeah, it was great. High school was a lot of fun. It was a great time spending, I had a huge group of friends, still keep in touch with some of them. You kind of grow apart as you grow older, but was always social. And I think that that's a big part of this business is your network is your net worth. And so that's why we've been able to be so successful is in the early stages of my career was always networking, learning, jumping from different service lines, understanding all different aspects of the business, staying in touch with a lot of people that were going to be successful, which then, now turn into investors with our company. So building that network, but younger, having a big network and a big group of friends and people that you hang out with and stay in touch with, it's really helped out with the business in the long run.
What I hear about your network is relationships.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. I think that's why you and I really clicked it off because when Tommy introduced us, we just started talking and we started relating, and it wasn't necessarily about business, even though we shared about business goals, dreams, and accomplishment. It was mostly a lot of personal stuff about goals, personal goals. It was about spirituality. It's about where we want to end up in life. And you're a very relational guy, and I feel like I relate to that a lot, and I think that's why we clicked.
Well, I can't agree more, and that's the one thing I appreciate about our friendship and partnership is, any time we call each other, it's never like, hey, what's the next deal or what's business? We usually get to that, but it's like, hey, how are you doing? How's life? What's going on?
Yeah.
Is there anything I could do to help you? And that's really what I've found is, and that's the one thing I've done is, refined that larger network, still have it for the part of business, but when it comes to like the more micro of the relationships is having the ones that have the deep rooted. Mm-hmm. It's not veneer. It's not surface level. It's very, just, a lot of connection and stuff that has a ROI, and that's a way to talk about business, the return on investment, someone that brings value instead
mm-hmm.
of comes with their hands out. It's a transactional business, but not from a business standpoint, but actually where you're providing value to each other. You care. You're
going deep in conversations.
Yeah, and it's just someone that you can rely on, mm-hmm. that's the big thing of our relationships, and that's the thing for our investors. Mm-hmm. There's so many investors that have come to us to say, hey, I have a house, can you do that? Mm-hmm. And we'll be like, well, that's not really in part of our business. We do apartment buildings, but let's look into it for you. Well, now actually got a call today. We manage 5 different people that invest with us, mm-hmm. single family homes.
Yeah,
and they're all full and with zero delinquency, and they're very happy. And we've cleared up time that they can focus on mm-hmm. spending time with family and friends, which I think we'll get to later in this conversation is actually even more important than all the business acumen.
Absolutely. So after high school, thanks for sharing all that. I think that there's a lot of gold in here, and people are going to see when they're listening to you that your excitement, the level of excitement that you have for your craft and for your career, it's always popping through the roof just like this, and I think it's contagious.
Thank you.
But after high school, I looked you up a bit. I know you, but I had to look you up a little bit. What is Kevin's history and remind myself? So it looks like you didn't just end up at Nordic. You after high school you went to college here, didn't you?
Yeah, University of Washington.
University of Washington, and it seems like you already knew you wanted to be in real estate at that time.
Yeah, it's kind of where I fell into. I always knew that it was going to be something along in business, maybe math, something with numbers, because I've always just been a numbers guy, and there's a lot of that goes into our business. And luckily, the network, the entrepreneurship, my mom had her choir company in Mercer Island. One of the girls that was in her, as a student, her father was working at CBRE.
Yeah. And
Craig Wilson, who's one of my, someone I would always tip the cap to, or a great mentor, got me a paid internship. And it's crazy to think back 16 years ago is for $8.13 an hour, but that's the best money I've ever made because it really showed me what was really important. And he had something that was very valuable that he told me, and that's really transitioned well into our business is, Kevin, if you ever wanted to be a good investor or a good broker, learn how properties work first. So I got into operations and I went and managed a bunch of, actually you can see some of them over there from through the window is some of the skyscrapers in downtown Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I got into that, was working with Kim Berg. I think you can throw us a few names out here. She's at CBRE, absolutely stellar director. I think she's even running more now. But it like to have all of these powerful people come into your life, and that's why I was so lucky along my career was just to meet so many people that put a lot of time and effort into me.
Yeah, they invested in you because they saw something.
Yeah, and thank you for that. I probably didn't show it as well, but, we all grow through our 20s. I, like to live a fast-paced life back then, and we'll talk a lot more of that because I've definitely slowed it down and wasn't chasing kind of the first mountain of life, the materialistic things that a lot of people chase. That was my goal is the car, the watch, the clothes, and now it's more the connection, the people, the relationship once you get past that.
That's I think a lot of us go through that at first, especially when we're younger, like, you know what, I want that car or I want X, whatever it is. And later on in life, we realize after you have enough of that, that's not where the happiness is.
Well, yeah, it's so fleeting.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that you just get it and then, you forget about it. Yeah. And it's just, then it's always more and the next and the biggest. And then
you realize they don't make you happy.
Exactly. And you're always starving. Instead less, you're actually full.
Say that again. You're always starving.
Yeah. For more, when you're in that mindset, you're always needing, it's just a punishment for gluttony, actually, if you really look at it. And it took me a long time to realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually you kind of see that, having less is more. You have less hanging over you. You feel more full. You have these relationships with people. You're building things. You're providing housing for others. We also have a charitable part of our business. I've been in the Big Brother program for 7 years, and
you're a man of giving back.
Oh, there's nothing better. That's probably the most fulfilling thing you can do in life, in my opinion, besides having, building a good quality, nuclear family and people that you care about.
Yeah. So, okay. So you went to college, you worked at Microsoft, CBRE, Kidder Matthews.
Yeah.
And you found you found mentors along every single step of the way.
Every single step. I mean, I can.
Why is that? Do you think that you found mentors every step? Is it because your eyes were open for it? Or do you feel like it was luck?
No, I think that the universe does things to good people, and I think it's gotten exponentially better through probably. I think I had a really big turning point in my 30s, right around age 30. I chose to quit drinking, and that was a huge thing for me. And so we'll get on that later as we hop on part of more of the call. But I think the biggest thing from that was there was this just turning point of not chasing all these things and focusing more on kind of that personal drive and think where to go. Yeah. And then that brought even more and more quality relationships and mentorships and partnerships.
I want to know this. We only have a couple minutes here, but since we're talking about this, did you have any anti-mentors?
Oh, I've had a lot.
Yeah. What about, let's share one that sticks out to you.
I don't want to put anyone, I'm not going to.
No names. No, we won't go no names.
I'll just say that there's been a very large amount of people that doubted. Yeah. And that's going to happen in any field to any person. And there's nothing better than, I've always said there's two different ways to do it. You can kill them with kindness or you can torture them with success. Yeah. And I took the latter. Yeah. And it was just a nice silent way to do it. And then you kind of get to wave when you drive by when you're doing well, and you can just say, "Hey, thanks for hating." Yeah, that's great. You're turning that type of energy into successful stories. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like none of that really matters anyways. Like it's always you kind of focus on it, and then you can pivot away, and like that's also fleeting too. Like negativity, just if you continue to surround yourself around positive people, you'll just get more positive things in life. Yeah, turning lemons into lemonade here. Amen to that. All right. Well, you're listening to the show Made of More. I'm Chris Erdmann, your host, sitting here with Kevin Falk over at Nordic Partners. And you're also listening to 1150 AM KKNW. Tune back in right after these few messages.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to discover remarkable stories of resilience and cultural connection? This is Diaspora, a show sharing the journeys of first-generation immigrants from the Indian subcontinent now building their lives in North America. Inspiring, insightful, and always engaging, Diaspora offers a unique perspective on the immigrant experience. Join me, Aditya Mehta, my guests, on the Diaspora Show every Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on KKNW.
Tell your friends about Alternative Talk 1150.
All right, welcome back to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and we're sitting here with Kevin Falk, one of the principal owners at Nordic Partners. And so we just talked about the anti, what do we call it?
Mentor.
The anti-mentor. Yeah, thank you. So if you didn't listen to that, tune into the podcast. I want to fast forward a little bit now. We talked about your past, your childhood. I want to go into leading into the current state, but let's talk about the story. How did you and Jeff first connect? Yeah. Well, I was working at CBRE. That was the third time I was there. So I must have done something good enough to go back to the company 3 times. 3 times? Yeah. Well, that's kind of how the property management world works is you bounce around, you learn all the different verticals. So I've managed everything besides trailer park. So I've managed office, industrial, retail, suburban office, multifamily, and you jump around to different companies, your pay goes up. I mean, that's over. I did it for 12 years. So, and 4 years now doing Nordic, but 16 years within real estate, and was over on the east side managing, stuff for Meta, T-Mobile, Facebook.
and one of the senior leaders at the company introduced me to one of our old business partners. He's gone and done a different venture since then, but him and Jeff were friends.
Yeah.
And I was doing a strategy. I bought the first apartment building of the company, just did it for myself and my family, and was halfway through the project and was just a slam dunk. And
talk to me more about this. What were you buying?
An apartment building.
For you and your family? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. So before you met Jeff, you were already buying one thing.
This is how it kind of all got started. Is I was a broker at Pilot with Jason and Casey, and I was selling apartment buildings, and I was like, how do I get to a place where I buy it? And had a rental in Shoreline with the family, and it was paid off. It was at the point of diminishing returns.
Sure.
And was like, okay, well, let's go use a 1031 exchange, not pay any capital gains, and go roll this into another deal.
So you sold this little family spot?
Went from I think it was an 1,100 square foot single family home, sold it in the middle of COVID, which was pretty exceptional to do because it was also during winter. You couldn't get supplies, supply chain issues, had to renovate the house, had to get it done in 4 months to suffice the exchange. Got it done, bought a property in Ballard, a lot of these things aligned, and then was just beating the pro forma rents, which is like your projected rents, by a few $100s each, and was like, wow, this is going to turn out significantly better than I even anticipated.
For the people that don't know what pro forma rents are, tell them what they are.
Yeah, so your pro forma is your projected rents of what you think you can get your rents to after you buy a property and fix up the units and renovate them and get them to a nice market rate. And then your pro forma is what you think you're going to get them to. And we like to be conservative, so we always like to say, well, we can get here, maybe we'll taper it back a little bit. But then if we beat it, it's always a good thing. And then that's what we do with our investors as well.
Yeah, you know what? Conservative is the key because like that. This is the reason why I feel really comfortable in raising money and working with you guys is because you guys have been we're aggressive on getting the price of the building down, but we're very conservative on the pro forma, the projection that we're letting the client know about.
100%. Yeah, we are probably, if not the sharpest, one of the sharpest buyers in the city. And then we're really good at operating. We're really good at our renovations. We pick A-plus neighborhoods. We attract A-plus tenants. We have good communication. We work hard, and then we have just good fundamentals. Like we use this analogy a lot, but it's Billy Bean baseball. We're into hitting singles and doubles.
I've heard that in a while.
Yeah, exactly. And because we're not into the business of trying to hit home runs, because then you're eventually going to strike out, and losing investor capital is just not even an option for us. So our thing is always do things conservatively, take your time, be patient. Good business practice, and then you have happy investors and happy returns.
Happy returns. Okay, so you're selling this place. You're in the middle of this deal.
Yeah,
and we're meeting Jeff.
Yeah, and I mean, you could just tell right away that there was something there. And our other business partner Mike was just the three of us. It was the original three-headed monster. Now it's going to be with Jacob Wilson here very soon. But and it all works out. All great people. We just didn't venture together with Mike, but we started out originally. But you could just tell from the beginning with Jeff, it was just like, this is a guy that I want to do business with. This is a guy that I trust it on or off the court. It's like he's just such a quality human being. We're going to be friends till we die. It's not just a business relationship.
He has quality.
Yeah, he's A+.
And he's sharp.
Very sharp. And that's the other good marriage between us is I come from more of a networking, capital raising, sourcing deals and business, like a business development background.
Yeah.
And he has such a great business building, software systems, and just, overall intelligence, a lot of high IQ at the Nordic group, even with all the rest of our employees as well. And then Jacob Wilson is just an absolute killer on finding financing and debt. So it's the
diverse
three of us.
Talents here.
We're going to release it here pretty soon in the next 30 days. And it's going to be a really big, it's going to, we say it's going to break the internet because a lot of people are going to be like, wow, these guys are all powering up together. Like something serious is going to happen.
I think you may have heard it here first.
This is actually the first we've dropped it.
Oh, geez. Mic drop.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So then you guys decided, hey, let's partner up.
Yeah.
And you tell me about this story, like your ground rules that you guys laid out with each other.
Yeah, it was just over communicate and constant progress over time. Like we were in the actually not too far from here. We were in the office, we were just in a little Regis office every day for 2 years, and we worked 2 jobs. So there's not anything glamorous about starting a business. I'll tell you, there's a lot of sacrifice. It probably cost me a relationship with a really nice gal. I mean, there was a lot of sacrifice. She just didn't see the vision.
Yeah.
But there's things that come with that. So like there is the sacrifice it takes to get to this place. And now that we're here, we have, significantly more free time. Jeff's now wife she saw the vision. And so, there's ways to make it work as well. But, you got to have people around you that see where you're headed and where you're going and support it. Because I mean, it was a 24/7 business. I mean, it still is, but the first 2 years, that's the toughest part to get to the kind of past that.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. I want to back up just a little bit because
Yeah.
there's a really good point here that I think a lot of people need to hear is you lost a relationship choosing this vision.
Yeah.
Something pretty, and from what I understand, talking to you is a pretty strong one as well.
Yeah,
Close
definitely.
one. Pretty close.
Yeah.
What do you want to share about that? Because
It was tough. I mean, there's a lot of tough things that happen in life, and I think that will also transition back to the family dynamic that I had. We had, some very, very difficult things that happened to our family, a significant car crash, almost lost my brother and my dad.
Wow.
To see how strong my mom was during that time. I mean, it was a very impactful thing. And so to be able to still be resilient and to see that and to be able to still push through and to see and have belief of where you need to go. And once we started Nordic, I finally saw that. I saw that there was the people that are around me were the people I wanted to be with and the people that I wanted to, go to war with. Because, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty significant term to use, but you're in there every day. You're building. It's brutal. There's pitfalls. There's ups. There's downs. There's successes, but no one, especially on the property management side, it's a very thankless business.
Yeah.
But, to go back to that piece on that, yeah, it was difficult, but, I'm very happy with where I'm at today.
Sure.
I mean, the amount of growth that I've had personally and with business and also with finance, it's just, it's been worth every minute of it.
Thank you for sharing that. Going to war with, I like that term. It is a strong term, but I think that's really important when you're building business or any strong team together that you want it to last, that you have to have each other's back because things are going to get rough. And they're not just going to get rough from one direction. They can get rough from 360 directions of all angles. And you just want to know that the people that you're working next to or choosing these relationships with have your back under any storm.
And that's the same thing with our employees. Like they call us at 10 o'clock at midnight. Hey, I'm actually working on a project late. Is there anything you can step in here? It's like, yeah, absolutely. Like if you're going to be the general of the army, you got to be able to be there for your troops. Yeah. And it's a great way to look at it. It's like, and that's also another thing. It's like none of us were in the military, but obviously anyone to service, we say thank you. But also we've adopted a lot of the regiment. It's routine is so important. Working out, folding your bed, just doing these small things at the way to start your day. That
Personal accountability.
Yeah, and then you get it, and it translates so well into the office. It's like we do monthly reports at this time. We do financial Q3, Q4 follow-ups with all of our investors. We have property inspections once a month. We have all of these things that we've now set up that we check, where you then have the checks and balances where you can have that, strong group of a team.
Strong group of a team and systems you can count on.
100%.
All right. So tell me about this $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started the company, I wasn't rich. And that's because, like I said, growing up from my early 20s to my late 30s, I was a pretty big party guy, party boy. When I die, my last check's going to bounce mentality. And that's just the honest
truth. What a 180 from the guy I know.
I know. It was not many people make that big of a turnaround change, but sometimes flowers bloom late, and with the $2,000 is, we just started it. We pooled it together. Went and opened up a bank account at Umpqua with Tommy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our guy. We'd love to give him a shout out. If you want the best customer service in the game,
Tommy
Wang at Umpqua. I mean, the guy is just, it's the same thing. Picks up the phone anytime. Always there to help us. I would love to have him here. He's been great. I remember I walked into his bank with the $2,000 and opened up a bank account.
Yeah.
And we had some laughs together. And I said, I'm going to be back with a lot more money one day.
Yeah.
And I think now we have, with all the accounts we have opened up with them, there's a lot of zeros at that bank. And we have, you have to have multiple accounts for multiple buildings. We have 70, 80 bank accounts with them now.
Yeah. And Tommy's just the guy that he can spot people and he knows who to believe. Like, I think he's a believer in people, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. And that's a big thing. And you also have to believe in yourself. And so that was our whole mentality, is like, okay, how do we do this? Let's go figure it out. Let's go find someone that's already done this. So we went and met with two guys that we knew from the space that I used to do deals with, and was like, okay, guys, how did you get this set up? Not like, we understand the fundamentals. We understand the numbers and the underwriting and all that and the deals and how to operate, but we need the system set up. Like, who's your attorney? Like, we have to file with the SEC. There's a significant rules and regulations behind our business. Like, who do you use to do that? Now we have
Did you already know who your attorney was?
No, we found him. It's Greg Russell at Peter Russell Living Good. They are phenomenal. 10 out of 10.
All right. Well, hopefully his phone rings a little bit more now.
It should. Well, and that's the thing is we'll drop a bunch, like there's so many people we work with, like Jacob Wilson at Crux Commercial Partners, like the best debt brokers out there. And it's just, we want to make sure that these people get some recognition because they're such good to work with. That's the whole fundamentals of our business is life is too short. Work with good people that do good business and good things happen.
I love that.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why we work with you.
Thank you, man. We're going to put that on a shirt there.
Yeah.
All right. So what risks were you taking at this point, and what was the building that you found?
Well, I think the risk is we're always putting our own financial balance sheets on the line for every deal we do, and that's what we offer to our investors. So when you're a LP or a limited partner, and I don't want to get too much into all the nomenclature, but you're investing a check with us, but that's the total risk you have. But there's also a loan on the deal, and someone has to sign on for the loan in case the deal goes sideways. Well, the principals do that, me, myself, and Jacob.
And let everybody know, what's the risk? So when you guys, one of the three, all three of you put your name on that loan, tell everybody what you're actually risking.
Well, I just signed one in July for $7.3 million, and if the deal goes to zero, I owe a bank $7.3 million.
Personally?
Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the risk that you're willing to put on the line.
That's what we believe in our business. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe in you guys. So.
Well, yeah. And that's just, that's just part of the game. And that's why, again, these fundamentals and setting up, it'd be very difficult to get into a situation like that because we know what the rents are. We know what our debt's going to be because we do fixed rate. We don't do variable rate. We know what the rents are because we're specialists. We've lived in Seattle. We've rented in these areas. And we have a really good team that we built to operate the building. So, it's risky, but it's not that risky.
Right, because you're conservative, like you said, you're not doing variable rates. You don't have rates jumping around on you. They're fixed, and
we don't do a ton of leverage. It's like 65, 70% leverage tops.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like you'd have to really go backwards to even be in a place where you'd break even.
You know what I like is like bringing some of my clients over to you guys is they're like, we're going to have our lawyers check it over, and we're going to have our financial advisors check it over, and I could always go to them confidently, being like, hey. Have your lawyer look at this. Please comb through it. Or please have your financial advisor comb through it and see what he says. And, when they do that, they always come back.
100%. And I think that's the big thing is transparency, being open and honest, sometimes to a fault. Like we will tell anybody, any client, any vendor, just exactly how we're very cut and dry in our business. And it's the way to be. And I think that also goes in transitions well into just personal relationships is having communication, being transparent, and being honest.
Clarity is key.
100%.
How'd you find your first investor funding source?
Oh, first investor? Yeah, that was through Jeff. Jeff found our first investor. He had a good friend. Once we were starting to build the business and we found our first deal, we got it under contract and we were like, okay, well, that was a success, but we need to buy it. Well, we don't have $1.25 million dollars in our bank accounts because we just started this. Yeah, well, actually, we don't have less because we actually had to buy the guys that gave us kind of all the stuff, a $500 box of wine. So, even though I'm not a drinker, it was a nice gesture and it actually worked out well because they gave us all this stuff. But then we were, under contract and we were like, okay, well, we have to go raise the money. So Jeff had a good friend. One of his other business partners had, a $500,000 check. So then we had to go raise another $700,000. And I had a really big network of people that trusted me that, believed in what we were doing. And, we went and did it from 50, 25K, 100K checks to fill it out. And, that deal is now on year 3 or year 4, and we've been firing out distributions and it's fully turnkey. It's in a great pocket in Queen Anne and it's 100% leased right now. The tenants are very happy. It's just, again, it's just, if you just do it the right way, you get good results.
Yeah. What I hear here is competent and experience. Like you guys had experiences running companies before and doing your thing and the competence. And I feel like the friend lended the money, not just as a friend, but because they really believed in what you guys could do.
Well, yeah, he believed in the returns. That's the other thing. And then, just having that business plan and execution. Execution's everything. And then just, putting one foot forward, one foot in front of the other and showing up every single day and never cloudy, 100% dialed in. And it's a great way to do business.
Share this, the hardest problem you faced before you go to the next.
Oh, on that project, probably 3 days before we were going to close, and I didn't have a lot of money, and we had investor money on the line with that investor. He was willing to put up the earnest money. They told us that they weren't going to give us a loan 3 days before closing. And we would have lost $50,000, which would have completely torpedoed our entire business.
And you solved it. We'll get into that.
We did solve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're listening to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and we're sitting here with Kevin Falk, one of the principal owners at Nordic Partners. Tune back in after these messages.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Chris Erdmann. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, I sit down with inspiring entrepreneurs, creative minds, and game changers to uncover the real stories behind their business. On my show, Made of More, we explore the challenges that they've overcome, the breakthroughs that they've celebrated, and the mindset that drives them forward. If you're ready to unlock your full entrepreneurial potential, Made of More is the show for you, because here we know you are made of more. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW.
Wherever you go, Alternative Talk 1150 is here for you.
Welcome back to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann. And again, we're sitting here with Kevin Falk, of one of the principal owners at Nordic Partners. And he was just dropping a bomb on us on the story of like one of the problems that he faced. And it was one of the lenders on one of his first deals was backing out last minute. How many days?
3 days before closing.
3 days before closing. And the lender that was supposed to bring this deal across the line, who's been working, how many days were you guys working?
We were 87 days of the 90 days in, and we had all the capital raised. And I mean, talking lost sleep, late nights of raising all that money. And to read that email was probably one of the biggest gut drops I've ever seen. I didn't know what to do.
I want to know why.
Well, it's because when we started, interest rates were at 4 or 4.25. Maybe it was even 3.75. This was when it was juicy to get a deal done. And it was right in that like absolute turbulence of the market where rates went up, I think 100 bips in like 90 days. It was just
tell everybody what
chaos.
100 bips means.
That's just your basis points of the interest rate loan. So it went from, I think, let's just say 4 to 5%. And we were locked in on a rate lock at 4. And they didn't want to put a loan out because they were trying to get out of it because they could go get 5% money. Right. That was my gut check.
They're trying to push you guys out of the way.
And we were a brand new group. So like,
just young guys.
Yeah. Like we can maybe weasel out of this, but what
happened next?
I got on the phone and called Greg.
And Greg is?
My attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have a few of them. Yeah. So I have, an attorney for the real estate side, attorney for the landlord-tenant side, and then an attorney if you're in
specialist.
A specialist, yeah.
Yeah, so we call Greg.
Yeah, so we called Greg, and I said, Greg, and this is I think, what did I say? This is unacceptable, unappreciated, and it needs to get unraveled. And he did it, and he was like, yeah, we'll get this figured out. So he got on the phone, called the bank,
calls him directly,
called the bank
that day.
By 5 o'clock that evening, we had approval.
I bet
that's why you pay for. Greg isn't cheap, but you get the best results. That's our entire fundamentals of our business is don't do things cheap. You always get cheap results, and we try to explain that to owners, vendors, clients, investors, anyone we're working with. It's like if you cut corners. Usually at the end of the day,
you're going to pay somewhere.
You're going to get the bleed. Yeah.
It's going to come out in the end.
100%.
Yeah. Have you ever, it's like that 99.9% of the time, wouldn't you say?
100% of, yeah.
100% of the time.
I would say pretty much. I mean, and that's why we've had such a big success, and our company is, absolutely thriving and growing so fast is we'd like to put out that Nordstrom level of service, like the old school Nordstrom days. You could go take a tire back there. Yep. And it was like they had all these rules, but you felt like a customer. Yeah. You felt appreciated. And we've really lost that as a society, I think, where that customer service level has really dropped off a cliff.
Oh, yeah. I would say so. But, not with Nordic Partners.
No, that's why people call us. That's why I think we're at a 85% reinvestment with our investors. Our renewal rates are extremely high. Our growth is on property management is exponential.
I want to get into system growth right now.
Perfect.
Actually,
let's jump in.
All right. So what was the turning point when you realized Nordic Partners was becoming a machine?
When someone like Jacob Wilson, who when we started out the business was the biggest name out on LinkedIn, was doing a massive amount of volume on deals, and we were just looking to be like, hey, maybe we could do a loan with those guys, or Jacob one of these days, do a loan with Crux. Yeah. Well, we're about to now have him as a partner. Yeah. And along the way, starting to do business with guys that were really important. The CBRE multifamily team, the Kidder Matthews, Simon Anderson team, the guys at Marcus, Lee and Associates, all these groups of brokers that we looked up so highly to were calling us like, hey, can we do business with you guys? And that's when we were like, okay, the switch has flipped.
Yeah.
People are calling us for our business.
The current is coming your way.
And I think the biggest one was the growth in property management. I've worked with a lot of other property managers at multifamily. They're somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000 units, and that's over like a decade worth of time and growth. We're at 1,100 in 11 months.
1,100 in 11 months. How do you guys handle that?
We just hire strategically well, and we use a lot of AI.
A lot of AI.
Yeah.
A lot of talent.
We have overseas virtual assistants as well that are incredible.
But your boots on the ground, though, I think that's important to say.
Well, and then we're in the trenches too. Like I have to work and do, property management as well. Like that's part
the
of our
owners
business.
are in the trenches
Every day.
Yeah.
I do something for the business every single day, and I have for the last 4 years.
What systems and processes have been most critical?
Well, I think we're going to have to then. I wish Jeff was here to talk about it because
we'll do another show with him.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We should, and we should bring Jacob in as well. It'd be really cool to have the whole three-headed monster here.
All right. Yeah, we'll probably have a 3-part show here coming up.
It would be really cool. Those guys are so sharp. But Jeff is, he just has SOPs and policies and procedures and business plans and just if you just look at like some of people that don't see it, like just the taxes we have to file for every single building, for every single account, for every single investment, all of our employees, 1099s, all of our vendors, like just doing that, you have to also have really good vendors you work with too. So like Pitch CPA, they're our CPA firm. Like they handle and make our lives so much easier on that. You have to get K1s to every investors every year. There's so much in this business from just policies, procedures, and any type of design that you have in your business to make it a well-oiled machine is so important. And that's something that we spent the first entire 2 years doing. Like our Google Drive it's a library. It's very detailed. Yeah. It's every single building. We actually just got called for potentially our first audit. Bring it on. I don't really want to do all of it, but if we do, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that. You have really intelligent people behind the scenes.
It just, and it's that constant progress over time, just every day chipping in and making sure you drop that file in there instead of just filing away, or it's that extra care. I think care is a thing that people don't really look at is like, if you just care, and that's why we also have Nordic Cares, because, it's good to give back, but actually caring.
Yeah. No, that's one of those things where when I come across somebody that cares about what they're doing, I'm like, wow, that's special. In reality, it should be normal.
It's more than the paycheck. It's a lucrative business, but honestly, helping people make money in our business, our investors make money, because a lot of these people, some of these checks are very significant. It's part of their life savings. We have to protect that. Giving 13 employees checks and salaries to live on and good, comfortable ones, giving them all this guidance and learning. 1,100 units, we provide homes to 1,100 people in the city. That's a cool thing to do. We help. Really cool. We have a charitable arm that helps on Aurora Avenue, if you know Seattle, getting some of the prostitution gals that are in
off the streets,
sex trafficked. Yeah,
you got a safe house, right?
We've gotten 6 in the last 3 months off the street.
Wow, helping you get rehabilitated.
It's that type of stuff is by far the most rewarding over the investment.
I love that. Yeah, giving people another chance in life.
It's a great part of our business.
Well, we could do a show just on that too, but
100%.
Let's get in the obvious. Why did you choose, how and why did you choose your marketplace? You could have chose anywhere. A lot of people are purchasing in different parts of the country, but you guys chose Seattle.
Well, it's our backyard, it's the sandbox we know, and we've been playing in for the last 16 years and the total 38 years, but, across our business. And I think the biggest thing is, as I look out here, I look at the T-Mobile campus. If I look over a little bit further to right, there's the Microsoft campus. There's Amazon, Facebook, T-Mobile, Google.
Money's being generated here.
This place is top, if not the best, top 3 in the nation for economy. So that's a big driver for us because we want people to pay the rent. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, right? It's a transactional business. And our entire thing is revenue, expenses, mortgage. Like that's it. Like covering those 3 things. Keep your expenses down, get your revenues up, pay your mortgage, and then there's profits afterwards, right? That's like sums it up pretty well. And so having people that are able to produce the income, that have the jobs, that have the stability to have a good economy is a really important factor. So the Seattle economy is great. I also think that there's a flip side to the coin of the landlord-tenant law because everyone knows Seattle's a blue state.
I was just about to ask.
It's rent controlled now, which makes things a little bit more difficult for landlords. But if you really look at it, there's also rules and regulations on development. They make it very hard for developers to build buildings in Seattle, which then means lack of supply, which then means rents are higher. So there is some things when people are like, oh, I won't touch a blue state. I'd rather go somewhere where it's more conservative and easier. And eviction,
and we're not political here.
Not at all whatsoever. That's just the climate. And so just when you look at it from that standpoint, there's less people that are really attracted to go do business in Seattle. So there's less people doing business here from a landlord standpoint.
Sure.
So then we get a lot more pick of the properties that are out there. Plus, then we're able to, that's a part of the systems, MFTE programs, all of these programs that the city have out for multifamily tax exemption, which is reduced rents for folks that are lower income. We know how to navigate that. We know how to do it.
And work with everything.
All of these systems that a lot of people, it's too difficult for them to navigate. So then there's, again, that weeds out a lot of the competition. So there's a big piece of why we choose Seattle and why we like it. And then also, we're geographically constrained. There's water and mountains, and it's just the zoning here is very difficult, and so it's a really perfect storm for doing business, and we love it here, and we like the tenants. Like a majority of the time, all the people are happy. Everyone's paying. We have a good system. We have good vendors we work with. The whole ecosystem that we've built here. I mean, we'll eventually expand in other states as we continue to grow, but our first thing was to build the monopoly board here and then move out, and it's just been great. We have no complaints.
Yeah, you guys figured out your system, and you're work and you love it. You're thriving in it. You're taking the issues and making them something that you know how to work through, and it's helped your marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's get into mindset.
That's a very key factor to owning a business, founding a business in general.
Yeah. So tell me about your mindset, your daily habits and routine.
Well, I think I said it earlier is, literally first thing, make your bed.
Yeah. Like
a lot of I did probably a year of just like listening to podcasts, reading books, David Goggins, all these types of Jocko Willink. Like you go and you take bits and pieces of all that and then implement it in your life, or at least that's what I did. And it's been very impactful for my success. So I think routine is huge. Personally, I've been doing intermittent fasting. Usually don't even eat before noon.
Sure.
2 meals a day, meals that have one ingredient, strawberries, rice, chicken, and being just extremely healthy. Because again, I think Paul Allen had endless money. And at the end of his life, he said, you don't have your wealth without your health.
Yeah.
Because he got cancer.
Health is your wealth.
And that was something that I found that really stuck with me when I saw that. And I was like, I need to do the same. Because I was for a majority of my time, I just didn't really focus on it. So I think running, fitness, whatever your cup of tea is.
You've taken on running since I met you.
Yeah, a lot. And it's really helped me a lot. I've ran a few half marathons now. Usually I did 4 in 1 year. So I was doing them like once a quarter. It just, you feel better. You get that natural endorphin release. So I think that is part of the routine. Diet, exercise, constant learning, and just good habits. And I think the other big thing is just being easy. Be easy, be fun. It's a real simple thing. And it actually, I think they said it's harder to have a frown. Like you get a lot further in life with sugar than salt. Like it's true. Not that hard.
That's a great reminder, right?
Yeah.
Just be easy to be around.
It's very for yourself. Short. Potentially it could be less, or I'm already halfway through my life. Like it goes quick.
I think you got a bit more to go.
Well, I'm just saying, it's never guaranteed. So all I will say is make it impactful and have a good time while doing it.
Yeah. I think you've already answered this, but if you want to say anything else, how do you keep your drive alive?
I think I was just always had that Duracell battery in the back, and I've always just been an Energizer bunny. I'm natural. I don't drink any caffeine.
Yeah.
Water only.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
You got a lot of energy. It's all in the brain.
Yeah, it's I that's something I just might have just always had from the start. But I think there's also when you start, it's at the beginning there's self-doubt and you have like, is this going to work out? I'm starting a business. This is uncharted territory. But once you start navigating it and you get some, through the storm and you get to calm seas, you're like, oh, all of this, the motivation is like, it's getting easier. I'm seeing more success. I'm seeing more of these, wins on the board. And then that's your motivation. Like, wow, I can get to more and more peace. Because I really think for me, my entire goal in life is peace and harmony. Like, that's all I want. I don't care about the monetary.
That's not the driver.
That helps. I mean, that'll also get you to the promised land and help solve problems. Just peace and harmony. And once you really realize that's really what my motivating driver is. And that's also by spending time with my family, which I really, you can't talk, like that's the most important thing in my life. And then also the family that I've built, which is my team and, all the people around me. So it's, you included.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Yeah. You're very intentional. I know like one of your dreams is just to hang out with your family over by the water. Yeah. You always talk about that every time I see
do
you.
it twice a month. I mean, I'm kind of there, but
Yeah.
I'd love to do it 24/7.
20.
Yeah. I mean, my brother's in Vegas, but I'm flying to see him in like 2 weeks. So,
Oh, right on.
yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, we're out in Vegas.
He's just right over by Lake Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, my mom's down there too, over in Summerlin area.
Yeah, great area. Yeah, all that's it's great down there. It's funny we don't even go to the Strip anymore. We just gambling's not exciting for us.
Yeah, it's not exciting for me either. But Vegas is actually a very beautiful place
It
once you
is.
get out there.
Tons of good golf.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, we only had a couple minutes left, so let's get into leadership and team a little bit. How do you attract and retain good people?
I think first off, you just have to compensate them well, and you compensate competent people. It kind of has the same name, and it's you just have to the saying's true: hire slow, fire fast. Like pick the right people, and I don't think it comes usually from the internet. Most of our stuff is done direct networking and referrals, and we've just found a really good team that meshes well. And we say that, at least for me, I'm probably the toughest to interview with.
Yeah,
because I'm very brash and direct.
You speak your mind right away.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, we're a special brand of tea. Not everybody likes to drink it.
Yeah,
but if you do, you'll be compensated well, and you'll learn a lot.
All right.
And that's kind of our thing. We could talk about that more later.
Well, we'll do it again when we get Jeff on. Hey, why don't you remind us that we were talking about it? What's the best way that you want people to reach out if we want to? They're interested in investing.
Yeah, they can reach out to you directly if you have your information here. And then for us, we just have our website, which is Nordic INV igloonancyvictor.com, or short for invest.
All right.
So yeah, NordicINV.com.
You heard it here. I'll be more than happy to talk with you about these opportunities. Where you got Kevin Falk here. We're a team that wants to make sure that you know who to go to when it's time to invest. You've been listening to Made of More here. And Kevin, I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I really appreciate you spending your time, not just like where we spend time and get to know each other, but just being on here and willing to share your message with everybody.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a fun one. And we just are doing good business with good people, man. Can't say it enough.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to say before we sign out?
No, just the one last shout out is to The More We Love. That's the ladies really doing the miracle work here in Seattle. That's a foundation and a group that you can donate to. The ones that are helping the sex trafficked women off Aurora. That's a very passionate thing and project that we care about. And if you want to chip in there, I think it's just themorewelove.com or themorewelove.org. They are the true miracle workers. Those ladies are doing incredible stuff.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to be putting together an event in the Bellevue area here, probably the first week of November. We're going to keep you posted on just getting to know us better and what our investments are. Anything to say to that?
Yeah. I mean, once we have the blast out and be able to show, come kind of drop the knowledge of what we're doing, how to work with us, how we could provide value to you, and just to learn a little bit more about Nordic and what we got going. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Here to expand your minds and your relationships. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and you've been listening here with me with Kevin Falk of Nordic Partners.
Thanks a lot, Chris. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Made of More on KKNW. Whether you're on the road, at the office, or listening from home, keep chasing what lights you up, keep building what matters, and never settle for less than the life you were made for. You are made of more. more purpose, more impact, more joy. Made of More is part of the Speaking Current network of shows and podcasts, all of which that are dedicated to inspiring listeners to build lives of meaning, connection, and value. You can find the Speaking Current network of shows, including Made of More, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. Until next Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, I'm Chris Erdmann. Stay bold, stay inspired, and stay made of more.